was my favorite comedy, serious humor anime of this season. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this, but this is, like I said, my opinion, but this series, man, it cannot get even better for what it is even showing to me on the table. I mean, okay, so past episode we had freaking zombies, okay, the previous episode for that we had Opie Monster, episode before that we had freaking Ghost Ramen, episode before that, you know what I'm getting at. Pretty much what I am saying is, this series gets me with every episode, not with just laughs, but the way they managed to change up the episodes with such original ideas. Okay, so at first, I was actually coming to the conclusion Danny was an asshole. I'm gonna be honest here. I want to be completely honest. I mean, I thought he was a jerk, okay? But in this episode, we see Dandy in a completely different light. I mean, he had such a different spotlight in this episode that it was unreal how much, I guess, really good character development he gotten. Even though this series is episodic, it's sad enough that this series is really just episodic episodes to where it doesn't really relate to any other previous episodes besides Dandy wanting to go to boobies. That's pretty much the only major thing I see that's progressing over. But the entire feelings I got from this episode was really, I guess, good feelings of emotions of father and daughter, along with just, you know, how it would feel if you lost your parents and you wanted to look up to a father figure. That was a really good scene, and just all around this episode was portrayed well. And it's so different from the other episodes in this series. I mean, Space Dandy is a series that has managed to capture me and shock me. You know, the plot, the way they actually managed to play the plot in each episode and actually have its own original type one-shot story in each episode is really entertaining, and I love the way the entire episode panned out and felt. I mean, the animation quality was once again really freaking great, and when that freaking, I guess, nice good montage in the middle of the episode, when you see Dandy, and you get to see the girl just walking with him as they're going to search for clues for her father or grandpa, and trying to figure out where exactly they all are, which really add emphasis onto the emotions it managed to make me feel. And instead of making an English-only song, they actually used the original Japanese song for the montage for this scene. So, I get props to them. They didn't actually delete the Japanese theme song in that section. So, great job. This episode, I love the actual little girl. The little girl, I don't know her name, sad enough. I wish I would have known her name, but I think she only said it once. This episode, man, I really grew attached to that little girl's character really freaking quick. I mean, it's not because she's loyal, it's not because she's like a little chibi, it's because of the way her entire character personality played out. It felt like it was just so refreshing to this type of series. It really was. I mean, we got Dandy, the freaking dandy pervert. We got Meow, that's also a pervert. And we got freaking QT, that's, you know, auto-tuned robot. But adding this little girl, if she would have gotten actually into the crew of Space Dandy on the Aloha Oi, that would have been really awesome to actually see. It really would. It would have changed the entire, I guess, chemistry of this series completely around. And I love her entire body-changing powers. It added something different to this episode. It really did. I mean, at first when you see freaking Danny just get hit in the head by her little, I guess, like, tentacle hair, and then he gets transformed into a little space penguin, that was hilarious. But what makes it even funnier is when the narrator actually says, oh, this is Dandy. He's in a space penguin. I was like, oh my god. Now, the comedy in this episode, I think, was actually not straight out meant for comedy. Like I'm saying, it was meant more for serious humor. That's exactly what this episode managed to give to me, and it made me feel. And I mean, there's so much serious moments in this episode that actually made me laugh. I mean, when you get to see Dandy as a penguin, as a freaking stuffed penguin, okay? And he's chasing a train, and he's flapping his wings like a freaking penguin, and you see him trying to chase after a train all serious, like, he is seriously freaking serious. I mean, his eyes, you can see the strain in him, like, he was trying his freaking hardest, giving his heart into it to save the girl that was getting kidnapped, about to be taken to the alien administration office to be able to, I guess, be checked. It was really freaking awesome. See, those type of moments are actually very comedy worthy. You know, I'll say, I would have never saw these concepts of humor if it wasn't for one particular series, honestly. Bakuman has inspired me to actually see what manga and anime is really for. I mean, after seeing this, I feel like I actually understand the potential of what manga and anime can really accomplish, because it feels like I understand different elements of the series a lot better. Really, I do. And I will say, good freaking episode. This is by far one of my favorites. It really, this is hard to imagine. Each episode I see a Space Dandy, I feel like the next episode's even better than the last. And that is hard to do, especially in an anime, and let alone a comedy anime that has a really good serious story. Now, the story, like I said, it's weak. But the episode story, holy crap, it is good. I mean, I cannot wait for next episode. Really, I cannot wait. I mean, the entire way we get to see Dandy give up his freaking boobies to be able to actually look for the girl's grandpa, that was shocking. That was different from Danny. I never expected him to actually do something like that. So see, there's character development in his character, and he's not just a freaking mindless pervert. He's actually a really dandy guy, and that's a terrible pun I just brought up. But I'll say, this Space Danny is in my top 3. It is definitely in my top 3, and it keeps getting better each week. You know, I knew this was going to be good when Toonami decided to make this an English dub alongside when the Japanese started airing it, but this is unfathomed levels of how awesome this show can be. A lot of people are telling me that you can see a lot of Cowboy Bebop in this series. Now, I mainly have not actually watched Cowboy Bebop, and a lot of you probably know that by now. But if Cowboy Bebop is like Space Dandy, if it really is like this series, I'm definitely going to go watch Cowboy Bebop right after this series ends, because I want to see what led up to how Space Dandy is such a success. I want to see how Cowboy Bebop can be just as good as Space Dandy. Now, I don't know which series is better, because like I said, I haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, so I can't really judge Cowboy Bebop if it's terrible or good. But I will say, the work with Space Dandy is definitely something I normally don't get to see in the anime industry. And it's doing really great for my vision of how anime should be if you want to give someone a laugh. Tell me all your thoughts on this episode. What did you feel about the emotional father-daughter type moments in this? With the serious humor, along with comedy humor, with the freaking serious penguin trying to chase after a train, with just all the different events happening in this episode. Tell me what you think, and I want your all honest opinion on this episode. What do you feel about Space Dandy? I mean, do you feel like this series could actually be one of your favorite actual comedy of the season? And what is your opinion on this? Do you think this is actually a very original type of comedy for an anime, or do you think this is like something just been there, done that before? Let me know in the comments below. Y'all wonderful there now, wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.